captions. There we are. All right. So let's place our hands on our heart, if that's comfortable for you. Taking a deep breath of love and gratitude. So grateful and thankful for this time to come together to be the two or more gathered in the name and the nature of love. We're grateful for the teachings of A Course in Miracles. We're grateful for our willingness to embody those teachings and our willingness to allow any and all blocks to love to just fall away, to dissolve and resolve back to the nothingness from which they came. We're grateful for the Power of Love ministry that brought us all together at the beginning, and for our determination to continue to review and discuss and learn how to live these teachings. We're grateful for our mighty companions, our earthly and heavenly helpers that walk with us and talk with us throughout every single day. We ask that they join us now, blessing each one of us here, blessing all who may listen later, blessing the technology we get to use to come together, and blessing our conversation. May it be helpful, fruitful, and healing conversation for each one of us. And we're grateful to share the blessings that we are willing and open to receive with everyone, because we are one. In grace and gratitude, we let it be, and so it is. Amen. So we are in still the Psychotherapy Purpose, Process, and Practice, which is an extension of A Course in Miracles. We're in chapter 2, the Process of Psychotherapy, section 4, the Process of Illness. And I'm going to start us off with, here it is, paragraph 9. 9 and 10. Being greedy today. A madman will defend his own illusions, because in them he sees his own salvation. Thus he will attack the one who tries to save him from them, believing that he is attacking him. The curious circle of attack-defense is one of the most difficult problems with which the psychotherapist must deal. In fact, this is his central task, the core of psychotherapy. The therapist is seen as one who is attacking the patient's most cherished possession, his picture of himself. And since this picture has become the patient's security as he perceives it, the therapist cannot but be seen as a real source of danger, to be attacked and even killed. The psychotherapist then has a tremendous responsibility. He must meet attack without attack, and therefore without defense. It is his task to demonstrate that defenses are not necessary, and that defenselessness is strength. This must be his teaching, if his lesson is to be that sanity is safe. And I cannot tell you how many times I have resisted letting go of what I hold dear, my stories of my past, my stories of, why this happened and why that happened and why I do this and how I do that. It's the same thing. It's a madman within me that is defending my illusions. Because if I am not those illusions, if I am not the characteristics and the personality that had those illusions, then who am I? a dive into the unknown. Am I really not special? Usually especially bad is what I'm giving myself, is that I'm so bad, I'm so broken, I'm so wounded that I cannot possibly be healed. And I'm so enamored with my stories of why that is, that telling myself or reading anything that tells me, or having someone else tell me that that is not so, feels like an attack. um I know it's not true. Logically, I know it's not true. Sometimes I can't take it in and fully embody it. But yeah, so that's where I'm starting us off. Carla, go ahead.
Well, I wasn't planning on speaking this early, but first off, I want to say that whenever I share, I never, ever, ever intend on making someone wrong or bad for what they share. Never. So, in fact, all my poems that come out of me, I don't plan on them. They just come, and I'm like, I don't always like them, but that's the thing I want to address, is that you say you don't like it, but in truth, the true self of us is love. So who is not liking it? It's always the false self, the body self, the personality self, whatever, ego, we call it ego. And I just, look, there's many parts of this reading that really resonated to me. I mean, all the paragraph 4, but I pick out parts of sentences because I find that too much information leads you away from the truth, right? So let's see if I can just pick out, let's see, 1, 2, the first line. So it says, it is a judgment. That's a stop. It's judgment. That's always the issue. It's not a judgment, it's the judgment. I mean, you can see it, see the judgment, see the whatever it is, and not hold it as always true, because love is the only thing that's real. So how can it ever be true? Let's see what else. 2:1, 2:1. Once God's son is seen as guilty, and that I changed that a little bit. Once guilt is there, I think that is it. That's the judgment. Okay, and go on. 5, 2. And their error lies in the belief, and that I want to stop there. Error lies in belief, because we think something is true, the judgment, any something other than love. That is not true. Nothing, none of that can possibly ever be true. And look, I didn't read this until just a few minutes ago. And I'll point to the last line. The truth is simple. The first part of that last line. Is that what I said? Is that what the poem that came out of me? I didn't. That life is simple. It is love. That is it. So, this is another. It's something that comes to me to call it poems, but I hadn't even read this. I hadn't even, and this is what came out. I don't, it's not that I don't or do like it, it's just that's what is. That's what came. So, what is illness? Oftentimes we focus on what is illness and how did we get there? But the truth is, that is not us. That has never been us. Instead, let's focus on accepting truth, right-mindedness, accepting our life experiences, loving, choosing love, and loving ourselves no matter what we seem to choose. And since we are so focused on how, I will share. Let go of believing judgment and believing the true self of us, the one aligned with God, could ever judge. It, the judger, is always ego, the false self. See the judgment and never believe it or that it or any way defines you or that it is true. You are always and have ever been divine, pure love. That's it.
Thank you, Carla. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Gwen, go ahead.
Well, thank you, Carla. And I would just venture to guess, if probably everyone's like me, that anything you share is always just so on point and so meaningful and helpful to us all. So just know that, I just think of this wonder again. I just read it early myself, and I was like, the whole illness thing, we get stuck in our stories. And I've been, we all have things, and I've been struggling with these horrible sinus and allergies for a year from COVID. And I'm just so annoyed and tired of it, and other things that come up. And it's, judging the self, the ego getting in the way, like, okay, what did I do to get this? And it's like trying to figure out the puzzle and how can I fix this? And then I just had something over the weekend with a family member that came up, and it wasn't illness, but a judgment and something really, really difficult to look at. And it's all okay. I mean, it got looked at, but how quickly we want to the ego wants to run and jump on something and create this big drama and a big story. And and I guess that's where, we have to step back and take a deep breath and remember the love and who we are and part of source, and don't get caught up in what's being presented here in front of us. Boy, I'm having trouble with that. But thanks, Carla, for sharing.
Thank you, Gwen. Yeah, it's not always easy to be a spiritual student, but it's a healing, helpful path, I think. Leslie, I think I pulled you forward because I was watching you.
I'm feeling very vulnerable, so I'm going to cry.
Okay.
I shouldn't even talk because I feel like I can't talk for a minute. Thank you, Gwen and Carla. I did not like this section. Just that second line that you read, Carla, that once God's son is seen as guilty, illness becomes inevitable. That just pisses me off. This whole section, I think it was Nancy Gale that said last week or a week ago, I'm not sure, I think it was her, that it doesn't seem like Jesus channeled this. It doesn't seem that way to me either, so I think I'm really resistant to all of this, this reading. But I'm also, you know, what you said, Carla, in your poem is so beautiful, but I don't know how to live in this world. It's just a dream and not be affected by illness. I mean, I'm sort of so pissed that I did the stupid body class that Jennifer's doing, because I feel like, you know, I have a history of MS. I have this new thyroid condition. I have psoriasis, and I read the stupid questionnaire that talked about the thyroid healing. So I was all over it. I got the books. I've listened to all of Anthony Williams' tapes. I know a lot of people probably don't know what I'm talking about, so I don't want to go into it at all. But basically, I used to be dairy-free and egg-free, and I never thought about food. I just ate with my special requirements. I'm not overweight. I don't have a weight problem. I enjoyed food with my restrictions, and everything was great. And now with this new way of eating, I mean, he's so much into fat free, as you know, Linda, and so much. I mean, I just feel better eating more protein. And I feel like I'm starting to become hangry because I feel like I'm freaking starving all the time. And I'm like, what am I doing? I took this stupid body class so I could know I'm not a body, I'm spirit. And I feel like I'm even deeper into the body. And I just wish I never even heard about it.
Oh, honey. I'm so sorry. You know, the
I
Anthony
think,
Williams stuff is not for everybody. I am not, I'm not following most of his stuff because it's too hard. And even
you shouldn't, as a diabetic. I don't think you should. I really don't.
Jennifer even mentioned that when she first started to follow his stuff, that it was a shock to her system. And what I know about my own body is that when I get medications, the smallest dose is too much for me. And so what I know about that diet is that if I were to drink the amount of celery juice that he tells people to drink, I would be in a shit ton of pain. And so I won't. I enjoy the liver cleanse smoothies, but I add nut butter to them because I'm the same way. I feel like I feel better when I have more protein in my diet. So the thing about the Change Your Mind About Your Body series, what I have learned from it and what I've learned through the years, I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've been talking about something that's going on in my life, and Jennifer will say to me, well, you should try this supplement, or you should try this diet, or you should try this. And I know she means well, but I'm just like, you know what? It's not for me. Spirit is not guiding me to that. I don't hear a yes when I hear it. And so the way that I am following things is if it's put in front of me and I get a yes from Spirit, then it's a yes. And if it's not a yes, it doesn't mean I'm bad or wrong, or, you know, I'm not doing things right. It just means that it's not for me. Every body is a little different. Every body requires a little bit different everything. That's why we all don't look alike. That's why we all aren't the same size and shape. That's, because we're all a little bit different. So in reading this, I could see why it would piss you off. And I would have gone there a couple of years ago, but I have worked so diligently with the sense of taking blame for my husband's illnesses, my mother's illnesses, my dad's passing, and my own illnesses. I'm not interested in that anymore. I'm not interested in blaming myself because it's the guilt that is going to cause me a challenge. So I'm just interested in seeing them as this is my divine path. I'm not judging the diabetes or the high blood pressure as being wrong or bad. Yes, I'm taking my medications, and yes, I am, doing my best to eat in ways that are helpful for those seeming appearances that are in my body at the moment. But I know I am not my body. But I would like to be on this planet for a little while. I'd like to see if my son ends up having children. You know, I'd like to experience other things. And so if I am interested in letting go of the stories that my mind wants to tell me around this stuff, because those are the things that aren't helpful. Those are the things like, well, I can tell you, like last Wednesday. So my mother and my grandmother and some of my other relatives in my mom's side of my family had or have had or even have now agoraphobia, fear of like leaving your house. And I hear a lot of times when I'm getting ready to go somewhere, even if it's someplace that I'm so excited to be, like leading a drum circle or going out with my girlfriends, I will hear a few hours before I'm supposed to go, you could just call them and tell them that Rudy's sick. Or you could just call them and say you're not feeling well or you didn't sleep well. You could just call them and just cancel. It's not going to go away. I'm not interested in judging it. Maybe it will go away. I can't say it's not, but I don't have to believe it. And I can reason with it in a way of like I'm talking to a toddler that wants to have the candy before dinner. Look, you enjoy going out with your girlfriends. You have fun with them. You're going to have a great dinner. You're going to laugh. Just, just go. Just have a good time.
Linda, well, I'm curious about this, just curious.
Yes.
And I had a hard time following what Leslie said. So I don't know if she's having a special diet because of some illness or something like that. I personally am very careful not to buy into different diets and all that. I eat a variety of food, vegetables, and this and that. But more in general, with the topic of disease, I remember now that in a podcast I was listening about the Course in Miracles, like when we ask for forgiveness to the Holy Spirit, help me forgive. Sometimes we do it from the ego, from the like, help me, help me, help me, help me. And from that very much embodied situation, it's very difficult to listen.
Mm-hmm.
So I think with diseases is something similar. When you are very much in the body feeling sick and being sick, I think it's very difficult to say, I'm not a body, I'm not a body, I'm not a body, I'm not a body.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do it, but it's something about is not something we can conceive with our body. We are something else. We are something abstract, something that is above our brains. And when I get there, I had a couple situations with burns, with the iron, that I feel I would have gotten a blister, and I didn't. I can't say, I mean, these are very minor things. I wish I could do it with, a real disease. But it's something about going back, and knowing that there is something out there, up there, up there. I kind of feel it's up there. And from there, I can see my body and I can feel like I am projecting. And it's kind of both times that happened with this little burn. One many, many years ago, it was 98. Okay. Then I stopped studying the course for many years. And the other time was recently. I kind of felt like I kind of separated, from the body. And it was like, well, I did put toothpaste, which is good for burns, by the way. I put toothpaste and I thought, I am not this body, This it's not burning me. It's my finger, which is something there, It's not really my essence. And anyway, I just wanted to share.
Yeah. Thank
And
you.
okay, maybe perhaps I could share, and I don't even know if I'm going to be back in this meeting, but I had cancer 3 years ago, and I wasn't studying the course at the time, and I did try to think about a little bit, I was in a panic. I had breast cancer. So I was in a panic. I was incredibly sad and very, very scared. And at that time, I just couldn't. Um, I did think, okay, let me try to do that exercise that I did, because I remember that experience with a little burn. I was in Washington. I remember perfectly. And I thought, let me try to do that. But, feeling bad was just too tempting, I mean, I had all the drama. Everybody would understand,
Yeah.
that you feel horrible. And anyway, and now that I am getting back to the course, I'm not doing it for a physical healing, because in fact, I was doing it more to get ready, if it comes back. To be more ready, because it's very difficult to live after you have had cancer,
Hmm.
because it's always there. It could always come back. Well, maybe when, if I survive 10 years, I'll probably I'm feeling freer. I'm freer. I'm kind of turning the page of this chapter, but it's very difficult to live with uh, you know this threat in the back of your mind that it could happen. The only way is to dissociate. You either forget totally and you think, oh, it's cured and it's gone and never come back, or you are thinking, oh, I cannot make plans because who knows how long am I going to be here, and this and that. So I realized the only way to really integrate was both parts. It was to get back to the course, and so I hope now to be, healing my mind, coming back to what we really are. And I get the feeling that it might help me with my body. I think, well, it's not gonna hurt.
Right.
But for example, Ken Wapnick, I don't know if he awakened or not, but he definitely practiced, and he died of cancer. So our bodies have to die of something. It could be cancer, it could be something worse, it could be one day you fall asleep and you don't wake up. But anyway, going back to the topic, I think is accepting that in this world we are bodies, and just try to remember that we are something else. In this reality, we feel like bodies, but try to remember that our awareness, they call it, or something, is something else. And take care of our bodies the best possible. Follow doctors' directions. Some people don't follow doctors' directions, and it's great for them. I think they are very brave. I follow doctors' directions. I use magic. So anyway.
Thank you, Maria. Yeah. And Leslie, I was just going to say, wherever you are, just accept yourself exactly where you are. Whether you're in a space where you just feel like no matter what you try, things aren't working, and you can't seem to get out of that space, that I feel like I'm in a body, just accept exactly where you are. You can't change it if you're resisting it, if you're fighting against it. So you are where you are, and I love you so much. And it's okay to be where you are, being pissed off about what's happening with your body and what you're trying that doesn't seem to be working.
And it doesn't matter if you feel like a body, that how much you feel like a body, nothing can change your reality.
Yeah.
You are not a body.
But it seems like we are sometimes.
Definitely.
Yeah. Anything else you'd like to add, Leslie, before we move on? There you are.
No, thank you, Linda. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you're
I know
welcome.
other people want to talk, so I'm fine.
All right. I love you, honey.
Mhm.
All right. So Nancy Gale, Kathleen, Mary Lee, and then Robin.
She's muted.
Sorry. Leslie, I love you. Spoke volumes that came right from me. Same thing. I had the same reaction. I said, okay, put it down. I read it. I'm going to put it down. I said, no. Then I went back and I said, so then I just read it. I didn't read word. I just want to try to get the gist of it, the whole thing, because you know how wordy it is. And then you got to go. And so once I did it like that, it's like, it starts to flow. And it makes sense to me. But I had the same reaction, and it's like, I'm just been through all my cancer stuff and everything. And it's like, okay. And sometimes I feel I shouldn't tell people how, the good stuff. It's like how it works well for me and everything. Anyways, but I had all these, like what Carla was saying, and every few sentences was a gem. And it was like, yeah. And it's like, I didn't mark any of them. And I knew when I didn't mark them, I should have marked them, but I didn't. But in the end, after reading it all, and as I'm going back and reading it, like, you're reading a novel or something, and you just, it flows, the ideas flow, it all flows together. That's how I end up doing it. And then it's how I end up getting the truth of what it is, which is all positive. And it's like I'm beginning more and more and more. It's like on a daily basis, and maybe several times a day, I have miracles, meaning I know when there's no big or little miracles, but their miracles is just shifting from the negative fear, guilt, all that garbage to the truth, which is love and all that. That's what the miracle is. And that happens to me on a daily basis, sometimes several times a day. And so, and then once I do that, once I say, listening to the core, the lessons that, you post every day, Linda, I read them at night. And that's what I go to sleep with. And it's like, I think, hell, thank you so much. Anyway, I would love to meet him someday, but anyway. Um, and it's like, it makes something, and he just puts it into different words at different, and it just all makes sense. It just, step by step, bit by bit, day by day, moment by moment. It's like go into the thing. It's like I'll go into a depression, like if you want to call it that. Lately, last couple of months, and it's like, but it doesn't last hardly at all. And it's like, oh, and it's like, 1 minute I'm in this, because I watch the news now lately. It's like I've learned. It's like even the PBS. It's like I know they give you the truth. You give you all the sides of the story. I said, you know what? I've been turning that off. And it's like, I don't want to know the truth. It's like, anyway, Leslie, I love you. There's nothing wrong with you. You feel your feelings. What does it say someplace? You have to feel the feelings in order to get rid of them. It's like, that was my story of my life. Everything was buried in my body, all that energy. And once I've gotten rid of a lot of it, now it's like, I always used to say, well, I'm so short because I had this weight, those metal things that they show. I had, it was like holding them up. They was like burying me so I couldn't grow. Well, that's like, forget that. I wish I could just shoot up. But anyway, Celeste, I love you. And thank you for saying that. And just feel what you feel, in your mind, the truth. You're still going to feel what you feel at any given moment, right? And then you do what you do with it. As long as you don't let it, what did they say? Don't
Live in that
absorb
dirty
it.
diaper. Yeah.
What'd you say?
You don't want to live in that dirty diaper or that mud puddle, right?
Yes. Yuck.
Thank you, Gail.
See,
Kathleen?
I see a smile on Leslie's face, sort of coming. Thanks for listening, guys.
Thank you, Nancy Gail.
Oh, I don't have a lot. I have this quote from Linda Soto. Don't make illness wrong and bad. It's just an experience. Just accept what is. Everything is helpful. Let's not lose our peace. How am I to forgive myself right now? Love myself right now. And then my friend in one of my groups, you receive what's next that you need to learn to love. So everything, it's a school. This is a school. We keep learning new things about how to get out of here, in my mind, how to not reincarnate again. So for me, that's learning to have Christ vision, which when you look at everything is holy. In fact, I don't know whether even get to a point where you don't see the world anymore, but you see it in such a way that it's holy. Everything is perfectly holy, including ourselves and our bodies. I went out to Idaho, and my friend wanted to make love, and I just couldn't deal with it. And so I turned it into feeling bad about myself and then feeling bad about him. And then I attacked him a little bit every day before I realized what I was doing. Attack, take it back, attack, take it back. was just talking to him a couple nights ago. I was talking about what a great trip I had. And he's like, I didn't have a good trip. You were attacking me all the time. So I had forgotten all that because I did forgiveness letters on it and forgiven myself, forgiven him, and forgotten and only remembered the good parts. So when he said I had a bad time, you were hurting my feelings all the time, I went back and remembered the whole thing and saw so clearly how the ego was like initially afraid I was going to hurt his, initially angry at him for bringing it up, afraid to hurt his feelings, projected onto him, make him wrong, make him bad, over and over and over every day, and then see it and then take it back. It's just a fascinating process. And now I wrote to him all about it. I value our relationship. I'm going to talk to him about it. It's a perfect opportunity to see how an initial me being overwhelmed and confused by his request to be sexual turned into this huge lesson in how to forgive myself and him. And so anyway, it's just like it was a perfect little lesson to have come by, which I had already given and forgotten about, and then to re-look at it more carefully and to apologize to him and hope it didn't wreck our relationship, because he's repeating a pattern. I fit right into his pattern, unavailable woman who doesn't want to have sex with him. I fit right in there, even though we've been friends for 40 years. And anyway, I don't know why I'm going on and on about it, but I think for the body stuff, it's like, just keep asking for my guilt to be taken away. If there's any symptoms in my body, it's because I'm afraid of God and feeling guilty, afraid that God's really a mean God. It's just also basic. We're afraid of love because I can't remember why, but I just keep like turning over the guilt that I can't get at myself, because only the Holy Spirit can get at it, and just become healthier and stronger all the time. And I went kayaking for 2.5 hours. I couldn't believe it. I felt great afterwards. Went dancing for 2.5 hours and felt great. So there's truth in all these things that we're learning in Change Your Mind About Your Body, that we're not bodies, but we can like hover, like Maria was saying, hover over it and just watch what Kathleen's going to do next. That's what Kieran J told me to do. Just like relax and watch, just see what Kathleen's going to do next. And then with food, luckily I'm not attracted to a whole lot of unhealthy eating, whatever that is, but I would just go for whatever your body says. Yes, if it's protein and fat, do it. I mean, there's good protein and good fat. Peanut butter has monounsaturated fatty acids in it, which are specifically good for certain things, which I can't remember, but I put peanut butter in my shake every day. So
I do too.
Peanut butter. Love you guys.
Olive oil.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There-
Kathleen, sorry, I know, Robin, you're about to go. I just real quick, I think
I'm
part
going,
of
yeah,
my
yeah, yeah.
part of my personality is that I'm so all or nothing. So it's like I took this 90-day thyroid resurrection to the T, to the T. And I'm almost done with, I have 5 more days of the second month. And then the third month, I'm really not looking forward to, but yeah, it's not like I eat all these unhealthy fats. I love my vanilla, my plant-based protein. I miss it so much in the morning. I miss my protein bar for lunch. It's like, I just think I need to relax about it a little bit, and it's not, I think I don't have a horrible condition per se either, because I've learned to manage my MS and I've come to a lot of acceptance. This took me a couple decades, but I mean, I feel like I'm in a really good place with that. And I just think what everybody's saying is, you're right. I need to listen to my body, listen to Holy Spirit, listen to guidance. Just because Anthony Williams wrote it in a book doesn't mean that I have to do it to a T. And maybe I'll get off the thyroid pill and maybe I won't.
Yeah, exactly. And either way, it's okay.
Either way, it's not real. And I know I can observe it and not resist it.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. I don't know why I was so emotional earlier. Thank
You're
you all for
fine,
listening.
because you were supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
In every moment, you're exactly as you're supposed to be.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, and I keep seeing thoughts and statements. Lots of people keep saying that lately, over and over. I keep hearing that all the place. Wherever you are, that's where you're supposed to be.
Exactly where you're supposed
Yeah, and yeah, And as a protein thing, it's like after the thing is protein, I'm supposed to. I had some tests done, some blood work done the other day because it was like sinus. I don't know if it's a tooth, if it's going in my ear, like when I was a kid and all this. And the platelets are low, and the red blood cells are so. Oh, if I got anemia, and everything, but everything, and it's like I remember, one of the doctor, what's her name, Catherine, she said that a couple of months ago, she said, I think your bone marrow feels tired. I said, yeah, I think so too. So anyways, and then the specialist that I went to see at Roswell, when we were leaving, before we left the room, they had all their says. And I said, there is faith healing, and they looked at me, and then I started to get up, and he leaned over to me and he whispered in my ear. He's a research surgeon. He said, I believe that cancer is an immune disease. And I thought about it for 30 seconds. And then I'm thinking, ego, it's like, what does the ego do, right? And I said, you're right. I told this person that he was right.
Yeah.
And I knew it. Anyways,
Thanks, Nancy.
so I'm done.
Yeah.
Somebody else take
Mary
over, please.
Lee?
Otherwise, I will keep going.
Yep. Mary Lee and then Robin.
Well, I always appreciate hearing Leslie's comments, because to me, they get to the real nitty gritty, and where I am in my body and spirit and all that can relate to the real stuff that I'm faced with every day. To say we're all one. I'm all one with the wars that are going on in the world, and that is just out of my range right now. And maybe one day I'll feel at one with them. I don't right now, and I should hope that one day I would. But the one sentence out of this chapter that I've read a couple times, and I had a therapist for a while after trying to cope with a person in my life, which is often the case with many of us. And the therapist, it's on the 9th paragraph that Linda chose to read. And then it's in that number 5 out of the 9th paragraph. The therapist is seen as one who is attacking the patient's most cherished possession, her picture of herself. And that really speaks to me, because why do I often have a defensive reaction? Like I'm reacting to hearing about different diets and all, because that hasn't been where I'm at as far as in diets. And my body seems to be healthy right now. Next week, it may not seem healthy at all. I may have a stroke. I may be in a car accident. I don't know. But I do know that we can have as our most cherished possession the picture of myself. Just thinking about that a little bit, like, is that why I'm trying to be healthy? Is that why is it just the picture of myself that I'm giving out to others, or to myself, that I, want to appear like this or appear like that? And that just spoke to me that we can often that cherished possession of myself. And Leslie might think my most cherished possession of me is that I don't have to take any pills. Well, I'll let you know, I take about 11 supplements or vitamins, or I meant to say prescriptions from the doctor for the this and that. And I do that in the morning, I do that at night. And this is what I get. So a most prized possession for me is not to be without supplements or prescriptions. I don't think the doctor's a bad person. Might say things that I don't necessarily agree with, but I don't think it's wrong for me to seek their advice and their experience. And this is a body. There's no way of getting around it. I'm going to be dead someday, this body, every one of ours. So when Leslie speaks to the real nitty gritty of how, I'm trying this and it seems to be backfiring or something like that, I think we do need to listen to our spirit inside. What sounds right to me? Does this seem to be okay? Or, if I right now gave up all fats and proteins or tried to go on, in fact, I don't think I'd live through it, Leslie, to tell you the truth. Okay, I wouldn't be having this experience.
Thanks, Mary Lee. It's so funny because everybody, as far as friends and family and coworkers, they were like, just take the pill. Just take the pharmaceutical. Why don't you take the pill,
Well, sometimes it's faster.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. And like I said, I can be so determined. I love a challenge, so to speak. And when I started out on this journey, I've been doing great. And I don't know if I've just reached a plateau or if it's just, when you can't sleep at night because you're hungry, that's just crazy. I had an eating disorder when I was younger. I don't want to go back there. It's sort of bringing up some of those past horribleness, it's just, I'm not saying I'm going to give up. I'm just saying, it's nice to talk about it. And my mom's the same way, Mary Lee. She's like, honey, just take the pill. She's a big believer in pharmaceuticals. And, I have MS. I take an IV every 28 days and I thank God for it. I've been on it for 14 years. It's totally changed my life. It's not like I'm anti-pharmaceuticals at all. So I appreciate and I definitely am a bottom line nitty gritty person. So I'm glad you know that about me, Mary Lee. That was fun.
Well, I think we all can go one toke over the line. Sweet Jesus.
Yeah.
We can reach perhaps there's a plateau of that diet that up to this point was okay, but it doesn't mean, we're failing. It means this seems to be enough for me. And maybe you haven't reached that yet, or maybe you have. So either way, thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate your support so much, everybody. Okay, Robin, your turn.
Oh, I love how you said that, Mary Lee. So beautiful. Go ahead, Robin.
Don't make me cry.
Well, I'm certainly not going to make you cry. And gosh, I feel like you've made the circle. You came and you cried, and now you've put yourself back together. And we all love your stories, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And in the end, you always make us laugh. And so I really appreciate your feeling that you can come and cry and it's okay. I find that to be really hard. I want to keep myself, you all can see I'm just tight, and let me stay with a thought or two. The first thing is that you are so strong and steadfast. You've been with the course for years. We have our blumps. And just last week, I went really through, it was a great demonstration. I was the only one watching, but I got hooked in something that I was blaming, and I had my feelings hurt. It was just like all kinds of stuff. And after the process, I was like, oh my gosh, we don't have to do that anymore. It was like showing me, this is how you used to live all the time. We're not doing that anymore, remember? And I got it. This was the part that was so wonderful, that I got it. And it doesn't mean that I won't have that kind of thing. It probably will. I'll step off the path a lot. But the fact was, in that undoing, I was able to learn and open to a lesson. that was really so wonderful. One of the things that I'm working on is living more simply with A Course in Miracles. I love the simplicity. In Quaker Meeting, the simplicity is one of those special, or not special, but qualities, the spiritual qualities. And it's always been close to my heart. And so when I'm going through all of this, which is all day long, because like we are in A Course in Miracles, whether we think we're doing it in a moment or not, we are. And what's coming to me is simplifying when I get out there, and then it becomes overwhelmed, and then it's, bad news just because it makes me feel miserable, that whatever it is, these ideas of how do we, I use quiet and calm. You all know that there's this little place of awakening to the upset and say, well, let's try this, and find each of us finding what brings us to center, what brings us back home, and really makes a shift. And so I'll end on this because you already know it. All of us know this, and it's just the remembering to do it. I am looking for simplicity. And when I get stuck in these places, whether it's small or large, which there's neither one, when I notice that I'm feeling upset, I'm aware of the false beliefs. And I was saying for years that the false belief and the negative thoughts. And I can say, guess what? You are in negative thought thinking, in false belief thinking. And when you are in that space, you've just separated yourself to all the loveliness that we are promised. So I brought myself back up, and that's what I'm practicing. And I fall off and I come back, just finding something that can help you. And you already know that. And, in the beginning, we all say, well, I'm sorry I cried and I don't know why I did that. With little kids, if you want them to come and have a discussion, you got to let them cry first. They're not going to hear anything. And that goes for grown-ups. You got to let them flow. I feel like I should have been an actor, but I missed out. So there's all of that. That's my opinion. And we are so grateful for each of us. It's just, this must feel like a sweet little group. Thank you. I so appreciate being with all of you. Thanks.
Yeah, I'm so glad you're here, Robin, too. Yeah, always glad you're here. Thank you, everybody. Next week, continuing in the psychotherapy, chapter 2, the process of psychotherapy, section 5, the process of healing. Lord, let's hope we get some good news there. So I'm going to close this out with the reading from Pathways of Light, Insights for my lesson today, which is number 283. My true identity abides in you. As I shift my identification towards being God's extension of love, my identification with a body and personality image subsides. With that softened identification with an image of myself comes greater peace. I am not as likely to be disturbed or personally affronted by what anyone thinks of me or says to me or appears to do to me, because I am not as attached to that image as what I am. Remembering that my true identity is in God, which therefore must be safe, unchanged, and unchangeable, brings me an awareness of harmlessness. I remember that I can neither harm or be harmed, for I am love, along with all that is. The image of a form that seems to live a little while and then die is not me. It is not my brother either. The freedom that comes with this awareness relieves me of all disturbances, for nothing can disturb changeless love. My heart is filled with joy because in the recognition of the love that I am, I can only extend that love everywhere, for that is what love does. Today, I dedicate to walking with the Holy Spirit, letting him guide my thoughts, my words, and my actions. Thus will I see a world reflecting the truth of my identity as love. I accept his vision as my own, so that I may see the face of Christ in all things. I open my mind to the Holy Spirit's interpretation of all that I look upon and think about today. I would decide nothing on my own. I choose the Holy Spirit as my guide today. The whole sonship is an extension of God's love. Love extends only love. And so love is what we all are. To be love, love must extend. Extension is inherent in what love is. If I would return to my true identity, I would be willing to extend love as love always does. If I experience anything else besides love, it is a signal to stop and open my mind to love again. If I think I see something in the world that is not love, I need to stop and let the Holy Spirit show me what is truly there beyond the false story. My mind has believed in many false stories and made many wrong turns. It has not led to the experience of eternal happiness. Because I want to return to the experience of eternal happiness, my job today is to open my mind to receive and extend my one true identity, which is love. This is the only thing that can bring me eternal happiness. This is where I reside forever in truth. Today, would I make illusions real, or am I willing to recognize that only love is real? Today, I would practice accepting love and extending that which I have accepted. Today, I would let myself be carried by love. And isn't that how we will create a better world and end wars and abuse and horrible things in this world, is just by loving ourselves deeply, 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 and extending that love to others. So thank you all for being here today. I love you so much. I'll see you next week.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you,
Okay.
everybody.
Bye for now.
Bye.
Love.